So welcome one and all for today's webinar by Professor T.K. Chandrasekhar sir. We are really very grateful to Professor T.K. Chandrasekhar sir for accepting our invitation and giving us this great opportunity to hear him at in person. The webinar is entitled Funding Opportunities for Scientists and Engineers in India, and we really believe that the webinar will be very immensely useful to all our young scientists, staff, and our audience, since it will make us aware of the various it will make us aware of the various schemes which are given by the government of India to promote science and engineering and motivate them to write research proposals and benefit from it. So we are very thankful to Professor T.K. Chandrasekhar sir for giving this webinar, this very useful webinar, since he is one of the best person who can guide us about research funding, since he has served as Secretary of SERB, India. I also welcome other panelists of webinar, which include our honorary guests. I think Dr. Biswajit Mitra has joined, and he is the Chief Mentoring Officer of Cadila Pharmaceuticals Limited. Our other panelist, Dr. J.S. Yadav sir, our Provost, Professor Bharti Dave ma'am, our Dean, School of Science, Dr. Mr. Abhinan Pandya, our Strategic Manager, Dr. Rajesh Bhosle, our HOD, School of Chemistry, Dr. Vijay Singh, HOD, School of Biosciences, and Dr. Sumit Chaudhary, HOD, Engineering, and my very young faculty, Dr. Siddhant Patel, who will be convening the question and answer sessions. So I will begin this webinar with the opening remarks by our Provost, Dr. J.S. Yadav sir.
But Nidhi, he is
Yes.
joining. He is joining.
Okay. J.S. Yadav sir. And so Dr. J.S. Yadav sir is a visionary who led CSIR IICT Hyderabad in the capacity of director and scaled it to the new heights under his academic leadership. He is fondly renowned as an exemplary leader in academia and research fraternity, and he has received the topmost uh, teaching and research prize Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award. Um, he has carved out his own Nike in research with over 1,300 publications of high impact journals, over 27,000 citations, and 150 plus patents. And he is fellow of Academy of Science and FTWAS, which illustrates his passion and dedication in the field of chemistry. So we are really fortunate that all the programs under School of Sciences are mentored and led by Professor J.S. Yadav sir, and the school is progressing very fast under his kind leadership.
वापस चले जाए या फैमिली को छोड़ के सब लोग फैमिली के साथ नहीं तो अकेले
So I welcome Yadav sir, yes, to share his experiences with us about Professor TKC sir.
Thank you, Nidhi. TKC, we know him for several years, maybe now more than 15 years, 20 years.
Yeah, more than that.
More than that. More than that, right. And
yeah.
Because we have been a fellow, so we are meeting in fellow meeting. Then he was our co-director of RRL Trivandrum. Now it is called Trivandrum. And during the period which he stayed in Trivandrum, he improved not only the infrastructure, but also he brought discipline, very much discipline in this one. And almost he finished up the Kerala culture there, he made it
yeah.
national culture. That was, I can say, that was the biggest contribution you had. That nobody was able to get out of that jink,
yeah.
From Kerala. So that he could bring out. And after that, he was in NICER, director. There also he improved upon. I think you are founder director of NICER, right?
That's right.
Right. So established. So that's why, TKC, you have gone in history as long as NICER will be there. Only you remember the first one and last one.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you have been the first one. Then after that, he served in Serb, you know,
Serb also are the
Serb
right
also the first, the starting secretary of Serb, right? And
that's
there also, he
Yeah,
brought lot of changes, lot of area, lot of simplicity in funding. Actually, during his time, the between project submitting and getting funded, I think within 3 months he used to finalize.
That's right.
Got the efficiency and all those things, which is not written in any biodata anywhere, you not find. But, he has contributed a lot. Like as a director of CSIR lab, then as a NICER director, then first secretary of CERN DST. So fantastic management skill. Besides that, the science, the quality of science he did at IIT Kanpur. At the young age, he published all in journal of high grade journal, I would say. Name it, he has the publication, the highest journals. And that's why he quickly rose and came in prominent, okay, among the academic, and also noticed by Cianara. I don't know that was a good or bad, but Cianara, he started giving him the kind of more responsibility, right? So that's how, but whatever responsibility was given to him, he served to the utmost care and established the organization. So he is more, I would say that he is the institute builders and he has built it. But you people should learn one thing from him. While doing all this management, he never made his science sacrifice. He kept on that science. I think that is the things he learned from Cianara. Whatever happened, science he never left. Even today he's doing the science and he goes to that. And now I think he will be soon joining IIT Kanpur as a emeritus professor. So that's what I can tell. There is no limit. I can keep on telling. I'm not telling my personal experiences with him. That will be interesting some other time. Okay, Nidhi, it is your floor.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for letting us know so much about Professor TKC, sir. And now I invite Dr. Rajesh Bhosle, sir, for giving an introduction, a brief introduction about our university.
Very warm good morning to all, one and all. I'm extremely sorry because my webcam is not working, so you can't see me. I tried hard. Anyway, welcome to all in our Industry University webinar. Let me share my presentation. Nidhi,
Yes,
Dr. Mitra.
I am able to see, sir.
you are able to see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all the PPTs are visible.
So Dr. Mitra,
Okay,
welcome
yes.
to you.
I'm good, sir. I'm good. Good morning to you. Good morning to Dr. Professor Chandrasekhar. This is a great opportunity for me to, be there with you all, because, I think it is more than anybody. I was keen to participate this program because, anything happens in this industrial university, I get excited. And
Right.
today it is most happening place.
Right, sure. And also, don't forget to attend on Monday. I think we got the invitation, right? For Monday also.
I need to check. I think probably my secretary might have got, but I'll check it. I think definitely anything comes from you, I think
Right.
I'll be there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sir. Okay.
Right.
Nidhi ma'am, can I start?
Yes, yes. Rajesh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Dear all, welcome for our Industry University webinar series. Industry University, like it is an educational initiative of Cadila Pharmaceuticals. Cadila Pharmaceutical is one of the largest privately held pharmaceutical company in India, which is established in 1951. At present, CPL has presence in the 90 countries and overall 10,000 employees. Industry University is an educational initiative of Cadila Pharmaceutical Limited as part of its CSR activity. University as a world-class university with focus of research as well as in academia. Cadila Pharmaceutical established in 1951, which started like education initiatives. They started first Shri Saraswati Education Sansthan in 2016, and our university started in 2018. In 2018, we got Atal Incubation Center, and in 2020 we have HSIP incubation program for students. Our inspiration, Indra University was established as a philanthropic initiative of its founder, Chancellor Dr. Raju Modi, in the loving memory of his parents, Shri Indravardhan Modi, Ambalal Modi, and Srimati Sheelaben Modi, who laid the foundation stone of Cadila Pharmaceutical Ltd in 1951. To honor their legacy of care and compassion, the university governing body, Dr. Raju Modi, are determined to holistically transform the development of university into a mark of global academic excellence. The founder chairman of Cadila Pharmaceutical, Shri Indravardhan Modi, was a great visionary, yet an extremely humble person, humble and generous person, known as a medicine man of India. Shri Modi was a true nationalist and pioneered the production of medicine in India. As the first employee of Cadila, Srimati Sheelaben Modi offered unwavering support to him. She was the strength behind the Shri A.I. Modi, resolved to make medicine affordable to the most vulnerable section of our society. The entire Ayu Parivar is deeply inspired by their principles and committed to accomplish it while keeping in mind the rich culture, value, morals founded in the ethos of Cadila Pharmaceutical. In Industry University, why we should choose Industry University? Because we have excellence academic culture, industrial exposure, internship and placement, 360-degree development of the students, and global education standard. So Industry University has ample hands of practical experience, experimental learning, industrial curriculum. We develop state-of-the-art our lab infrastructures, platform for development of entrepreneur skills, encouragement of co-curricular and extracurricular activities, electives within and across the disciplinary, and encouragement of research. Faculties in our university we have from premier institute from international and nationally, strong inductive linkage and credited internship programs for master degree as well as BTech degree for BSc also, soft skill training for enhancing placement and opportunities, placement assistance for all eligible students, flexible and transparent academic system, and student-centric education system. We in our university we have two main streams. One is School of Engineering, another is School of Science. Our mentor of university, Prof. Dr. J.S. Yadav sir, he is well-known organic chemist in the India. He has very high credential, around 150 patents, 1400 publications, and 250 PhD students. Under his guidance, we are performing. School of Science offers BSc degree, BSc honors degree in chemistry, BSc honors degree in bioscience, master degree MSc chemistry, master degree in like MSc microbiology, MSc animal biology, and PhD in life science, in chemistry as well as in bioscience. In the chemistry, Industry University offers BSc honors, MSc, PhD programs, which I just said. Industrial, we have industry oriented curriculum with practical exposures, highly equipped labs, means well established lab, R&D labs, as well as analytical supports, eminent faculties and research scientists from premier institutes like IITs, IICT, NCL, Pune, Central Universities, and other CSIR institutes. Industrial sectors, including Cadila Pharmaceuticals. Strong industry connections and R&D centers networks we have, offering internship program for students in the industry as well as in the university. We have outcome based education leading to industrial jobs, R&D professions, and entrepreneurship program. So this image will give you an idea what advanced infrastructure we have. We have the state-of-the-art laboratories. This is the picture of our analytical labs, bioanalytical labs. School of Engineering offers BTech degree in computer science and engineering, BTech degree in mechanical engineering, and BTech degree in chemical and biochemical engineering.
Hello, Rajesh.
Hello? Yes, madam.
I'm sorry for interruption. Can you please full screen your presentation? I'm sorry.
That's no. That's I asked you in the initially. Can you see
Yeah,
my
yeah.
phone?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, I'm
But
sorry.
but on my screen I can't see my full presentation. That's the problem. I can just see the participant.
Okay.
Sorry, now we are able to see everything. Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much. I'm sorry.
yeah. But on my computer screen I can't see my presentation.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay, sorry.
Computer science department offering subjects like digital signal processing, multimedia technology, artificial intelligence, uh, data science, robotics, IoT, and machine learning. Chemical and biochemical engineering, giving the specialization, biochemical engineering, bioprocessing engineering, nanoscience and nanotechnology, pharmaceutical technology, petrochemical and refining, polymer technology, environmental science, chemical process modeling, and process simulation technology. Mechanical engineering offering subject and specialization in thermal engineering, mechanical design, operational research, manufacturing technology, fluid dynamics, industrial engineering, automation and robotics, advanced manufacturing, automobile, and mechanical. We have in computer department well-equipped computer labs for the students. Similarly, chemical engineering department also have well-equipped chemical laboratories. Our students visit different industrial visits as well as take participations in the national level science exhibitions and competitions. Our university has with different education institutes nationally as well as internationally. So our student has opportunity to complete their part of the curriculum in the MOU institutes. We also have MOU with different organizations where our students can get placement like Cadila Pharmaceuticals, GVFL, Apollo, IRM Energy, Karnavati, National Chemical Laboratory Pune, where our student can complete their dissertation work and data wise. Students also have opportunity to to have extracurricular activities, to participate in the games, cultural activity. We also have MOU with abroad, like, and our students, like from biotech department as well as from science department, they have opportunity to complete their degree, like dual degree program, where they can complete their part of the degree in India and part of the degree from abroad. Thank you very much for your kind attention. If you want to see get more information, please visit our university website or call to our admin section. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, sir, for the kind introduction of the university. And I have an important information to be made to all the audience, that there will be a feedback link which will be sent after at the end of webinar. So you have to click on it, and it will be live 30 minutes after the webinar. So please fill in, and you will get an e-certificate, all attendees. And now I request our Dean School of Science, Professor Bharti Dave, to please give us an introduction of Professor T.K. Chandrasekhar sir, and welcome him for his webinar.
Thank you, Nidhi. I welcome Dr. T.K. Chandrasekhar, Professor Yadav, and all the panelists as well as the participants who are attending this webinar. To introduce Professor T. Chandrasekhar briefly, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce him, a very distinguished scientist, and you can say an exemplary academician for today's webinar. This combination that you seldom find among the researchers. In fact, our university should take pride in that all the speakers that have been invited to date have all been Bhatnagar awardees and J.C. Bose National Fellows. Professor Chandrasekhar is one of these. The entire credit goes to Dr. J.S. Yadav sir, Provost of our university, and himself both a Bhatnagar awardee and J.C. Bose National Fellow. The awards, the highest level of awards in science which are offered by our country. In fact, speaking about the credentials of Dr. Professor Chandrasekhar within a very short time would not do justice to him. Nevertheless, I would try to cover up all his major accomplishments so that his credentials can be a source of inspiration for all our budding young scientists as to reach the height of success that they need to achieve in future. So Professor Chandrasekhar was born in Shimoga, Karnataka in 1956. He received his master's degree from University of Mysore in 1978, and he earned his PhD from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore in 1982. And immediately after his PhD, he went for his postdoctoral fellowship at University of Massachusetts, Boston, and at Michigan State University, USA. Before returning to our country, he had been for 1 year at University of Köln, Germany, as an Alexander von Humboldt Fellow, a very prestigious fellowship which all the young researchers aspire to avail. And as soon as he returned to India, he had been as a faculty at Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. And then he had been a full professor since 1985. From 1995 onwards, he was deputed as a director, National Institute for Interdisciplinary Science and Technology, a CSIR laboratory, NIST as we say, Trivandrum from November 2003 to November 2008. He had also been the founder director of National Institute for Science Education and Research, NISER, Bhubaneswar, from December 2008 to December 2013. And as Professor Yadav has rightly said, he had been an institution builder. And from 2013 onwards, he had been appointed as Secretary, Science and Engineering Research Board, SERB as we say, New Delhi, and he had been as a senior professor at Department of Chemical Sciences at NISER, Bhubaneswar. But now he would be joining as a distinguished professor at IIT Kanpur. Professor Chandrasekhar, as I've said, is an exemplary academician, and he has taught undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD level courses at IIT Kanpur. And having taught at undergraduate and postgraduate level at IIT Kanpur, I'm sure he would have been a source of inspiration or instrumental in shaping the future of young students.
I'm sorry, ma'am, for interrupting. Sir, Bakulesh Kama, sir, I think his mic is on. And sir, I welcome Bakulesh Kama, sir. He is the executive director of Cadila Pharmaceutical. Sir, I think your mic is on, because of which the sounds are coming of vehicles, something. Sir is able to hear me? Bakulesh, sir? Yeah. Thank you, sir. And ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please continue.
So Professor Chandrasekhar, as I said previously, is an exemplary academician, and he has taught at undergraduate, postgraduate and PhD level courses at IIT Kanpur. And I'm sure, having been taught at undergraduate and postgraduate students at IIT Kanpur, he must have been instrumental in shaping the lives of many young students in science. As I've already said, he's a very active researcher, and his research interests include model compounds for photosynthetic intermediates, photocatalysis, expanded porphyrins and their applications as anion receptors, organic nanomaterials, catalysts for organic transformations, and biological reactions. He has published more than 140 research publications and review articles in journals of international reputes. About 18 students from IIT Kanpur have received a PhD degree in chemistry under his able supervision. So as I've said, he has several accomplishments. He has been awarded with several awards, but to name the major awards that he has received are Homi Bhabha Award for Excellence in Research, PC Ray Memorial Award of Indian Chemical Society, CRSI medals, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize in the area of Chemical Sciences, J.C. Bose National Fellowship of DST. He is an elected fellow of all the 3 science academies of India. Again, a distinguished accomplishment: Indian National Science Academy, National Academy of Sciences, and Indian Academy of Sciences. In the year 2008, he was elected as a fellow of the 3rd World Academy of Science, Trieste, Italy, for his contributions to chemistry. He has also been awarded D.S. Kothari Gold Medal by Indian Chemical Society in the year 2010, which he has received from the Honorable Prime Minister at the Indian Science Congress, which was held at Chennai. So without wasting much time, I would now request Professor Chandrasekhar to speak on funding opportunities for scientists and engineers in India, a very pertinent topic for our young faculty members who are aspiring to write research projects and apply for grants. Thank you, sir. I hope I have done justice to your credentials. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam, for a nice introduction. And I will begin my talk by expressing my sincere thanks to my dear friend, Dr. J.S. Yadav, who has invited me to give this webinar. I'm extremely happy to accept this invitation. I'm sure that the Industrial University under the leadership of Dr. Yadav will flourish, and I wish the university all the best in the coming years. Today, what I'll be doing is I'll be briefly talking about the funding opportunities for scientists and engineers in India, because many people in the country, especially small universities, are not aware of the opportunities available. Can you share my slides, please?
Hello. Anuj,
Aditi?
please share sir slides
Yeah.
and make it full screen.
So the purpose of this talk is to make you aware of the different opportunities for scientists and engineers in India from the various funding agencies. My talk will be focused more on the SERB funding, because SERB funding is for everybody, for young people, for established people, for senior people, as well as for the institutions and the retired people. Therefore, there's an opportunity for everybody in SERB funding. Therefore, one can make use of this opportunity given to you especially from the youngsters who are starting their career. The major funding agencies in India who fund the projects are listed in this particular slide. DST, New Delhi, India, is the one of the major funding agency, and SERB is another agency which funds basic research, and the budget for SERB is about 1,000 crores per year. The next funding agency is CSIR. I'm sure Dr. Yadav must have already explained to you, all of you, this CSIR funding. And another major source of funding especially for biologists is the DBT, that is the Department of Biotechnology. They have wonderful programs for getting funding both for individually and for the university and with the industry combination. There's a program called BIRAC, which the biology people in the university can make use of, where you can get a larger funding with the industry support. And the Ministry of Earth and Environmental Sciences have projects funded, especially for the these environmental projects. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah. Ministry of Earth and Environmental Scientists, the fund for environmentally important projects. And also there is an Indo-US forum. This Indo-US forum, many of you may not be aware, this is a forum funded 50% from Indian government through DST and 50% from National Science Foundation, America, USA. So they jointly fund projects where there is an opportunity for the youngsters to visit American laboratories, and the American scientists can visit the Indian laboratories. This is a very wonderful agency where people can make use of the opportunity. Can I have next slide, please? Yeah, this is basically the objectives of the SERB, where the SERB serves as a premier multidisciplinary research agency, promoting funding and internationally competitive emerging areas. That is, the SERB funds all kinds of projects, basic research, applied research, multidisciplinary research for all the universities, colleges, and the institutes of national importance. So, and all the areas of science and engineering. We have a separate project advisory committees for the sciences, the chemistry, biology, physics, and engineering. Also, there are plenty of this thing. And then the second one is the identify major interdisciplinary research areas and individual groups of institutions and funding them for undertaking research. Here, what happens is that if the country needs something, for example, bioengineering is one of those things, telecommunication is other project where the country has a lot of importance. So the SERB will identify people who are working in these areas and the institutions, and as a combined institution and the different institutions can join hands and write a big proposal for funding, which will be funded by the SERB. Then also assist in setting up infrastructure and environmental for scientific pursuit. For example, many universities and the institutions in India, especially the one which is starting, will not be having enough funds for infrastructure. So there is a part of funding available for setting up infrastructure and environmental scientific pursuit. And also it will enable to achieve synergy between academic institutions and research and development laboratories and industry. Actually, what is happening in India currently is that the industry doesn't know what is happening in academia, and academia doesn't know what is happening in industry. So when I was the secretary for the SERB, I brought the industrialists and the academicians together on the same platform, and then discuss the possibility of funding, supposing the industry has a problem to solve and they don't know how to solve the problem. Any academician who can solve the problem, they can write a proposal along with the industry partner, industry PI and the academic PI, and they can apply for funding from the SERB. And the catch here is that the industry concerned will have to pay 50% of the project cost, and 50% of the cost will be borne by SERB. And therefore, the industry can get its problem solved for 50% of the cost. And there is a meeting of the minds of both industry and academia. This is a very good program which is attracting a lot of attention. I'll give the details. And also evolve a management system to speedily provide funding research, including monitoring these things. What was happening before I joined SERB was that you have to submit 30 copies of the proposal. It will go by post. It will take its own time, and they have to send it to referees, and referees has to take their own time to review and all that. So all this is now stopped. I have made completely online system where you can submit your proposal online. No more 30 copies, only one line copy and register. And refereeing is done through online, and therefore the funding decision will be made within 3 months of funding the submitting the proposal. This has been a welcome change, and many researchers have really enjoyed this facility currently. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, as I told in the beginning that SERB has a multi-stakeholder programs. We have separate program for the youth in terms of the DST Inspire program, both for undergraduate studies as well as the PhD studies. We have a researchers support where the support for investigators to travel for a conference, and they'll give the conference money and stay money. We have separate programs for women scientists because the problem was many women scientists who have acquired PhD degree, and because of the family reasons, the career was cut. Therefore, to encourage women who have family problems, they can approach SERB for funding, appropriate funding. We will fund up to 50 lakhs per 3-year project can be funded. And there's a separate program for scientists of weaker segments, especially to empower SC and ST people who are aspiring to do research. For them, we have created a competition among themselves so that they can be empowered to do research. This is separate programs in all areas of science and engineering. And innovators, for example, somebody wants to innovate something for promotion of innovation system, there is a seed money available to test their idea. And if it is successful, then they can apply for a technology business incubation, TBI we call it, to get more funding. Therefore, anybody who has a good idea in terms of the application-oriented research can innovate. And if it is idea is successful, we can really have a technology incubation center to fund it so that the business will grow. And for institutions which don't have much infrastructure, there's an infrastructure strengthening project where they can provide different kinds of facility to do research. This will be up to the, I'll give the details of this. We can get up to 5 crores per university in this particular program. And for universities, especially for they are all listening to get a one-time funding to regenerate their research facilities so that they can start research comparable to anybody in the world. So these are different types of CRB programs. You can see that there are separate programs for the students, youth, researchers, women scientists, and weaker sector, etc., etc. Can I have next slide, please? Now I will give you some CRB program details. Go to the next slide. Yeah, next slide, please. This is the extramural research funding. I cannot. No, go back. You're going faster. Go back. Go back. This one.
Yeah, that one, extramural research funding, sir is talking about.
Yeah. Okay. This is basically for individual research scientists who are having a permanent position in a university or institute. They can write a proposal of their choice. There is no thing, whatever they are having experience and expertise, they can write this proposal for a funding from SCRB. This is, as I said, this supports potential scientists for their research projects in the areas of science and engineering. Here, there is no limitation of the area. Whichever area you are familiar with, whichever area you are having expertise, can write a proposal. Here, grants will be given to manpower, 1 or 2 manpower to in terms of JRF or SRF to their research help, equipments, consumables, and attending conferences and contingencies. Proposals are accepted now. There's a change now. It's not throughout the year. There's a window now. If you look at the SCRB site, they will open the window twice a year, once in January, February time, other in June or July time. And the average project cost is up to 50 lakhs per 3 years. But there are projects which can go up to 5 crores. So it depends upon the quality of the proposal. The minimum funding you can get is 50 lakhs for 3, especially for a beginner who is writing their first project. Therefore, they can apply for about 50 crores to 1 crore, or 50 lakhs to 1 crore range for 3 years to try their ideas. And after successful completion of this particular proposal, if we have a good publications and patents, you can go for the higher money. You can go up to 5 crores in this proposal, in the extramural research funding, which is a individual centric program. So you can do alone, and then if you don't want to collaborate with anybody, you can do this thing. Can I have the next slide, please? This is for the startup grant for young scientists, because a young person will come and join the institution, and the institution may not be able to, they may give some small money, but they may not be able to give a lot of money it requires. Therefore, in this particular project, we have now the 25 lakhs has gone to 50 lakhs, is revised now. This is for young people who are up to age of 35 years. It should be below 35 years to eligible for this particular program. Project cost is now, it is 50 lakhs for 3 years. And if the person doesn't have a permanent job in a university or institution, even the salary now is increased to not 35,000, it is 50,000 per month as a consolidated fellowship for those people who are not employed or not receiving a fellowship. Therefore, for a young person who joins an institution, and if the institution want to sort of try this particular person, not a regular employee, then DST will pay his salary up to 50,000 per month and a grant of 50 lakhs. So after 3 years of time, the institution concerned are supposed to absorb them as their permanent faculty. So this is a program which is good for the younger people who are joining the institute as a fresh assistant professor or a lecturer, so on and so forth. Can I have the next slide, please? This is a project scheme called IRFA, that is the intensification of research in high priority areas. Supposing somebody is working in a very top area, right now, say vaccines, for example. This is a very high priority area in our country. For such projects, you require a lot of money, number one. Number two, they also require multidisciplinary, multi-institutional expertise. Only a chemist or only a biologist or only an engineer cannot do this project. They have to come together. An engineer and a scientist, a chemist and a biologist can come together and put in their all ideas in their expertise and make a project successful. So for this project, this is the in the priority areas. This can be funded up from 5 crore to 15 crores for about 5-year project. Therefore, if you have any big ideas in the current scenario, I could think of a vaccine program is one area where Cadila can take it up and make use of this facility from the SERB. We can fund up to 15 crores in this particular project. Can I have next one, please? This is called a track-based research funding. For example, any scientist or an engineer who has already established his career in a particular university or institution, he was already well known, he's already completed one or two projects of SERB. And such persons who are well known and well recognized by the country need not to go every 3 years for funding. So based on their track record, SERB identified such people and they will be funded. They will be given funding. Average cost of 10 lakhs per year is the minimum cost. So they don't have to ask for it. Just simply write a letter to the SERB. I am so and so, I need money. So minimum money available is 10 lakhs per year for 5 years. Or if the project is more demanding, the more money can be also be given. Therefore, this is for people who have established and their track is already known to the SERB. They don't have to write a proposal for this. They have to simply write a letter. I am so and so, I need money for this particular project. Then minimum project for every year, you can get a minimum of 10 lakhs for next 5 years in this particular in the program. This is also a very popular program. So far, there are more than about 1,500 scientists are enjoying this particular program funding. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, since I am a chemist, I am only concentrating on the chemistry part, but this kind of PSCs are there in all the areas of engineering and sciences. For example, in chemical sciences, we have different project advisory committees. For physical chemistry, a separate committee is there. Inorganic chemistry, there's a separate committee. Organic chemistry, there's a separate committee. Young scientist committees and track-based funding committee. Therefore, this is true for all other disciplines also. For biology also, we have the similar structure. For engineering also, we have similar structures. I'm just highlighting only one discipline here. Therefore, the committee members who are chosen for the to review the funding are all expertise having their own area. Therefore, if the proposal is good, intellectually challenging, there is no difficulty in getting funding. And once you are funded from the SERB, and if you do well, automatically you will get the funding till your career ends. So that is the one good advantage of having the funding from the SERB. Can I have the next slide, please? This is for the startup grant for young scientists. Earlier it was called ECRA. Now they have revised this. As I told you, this is the startup research grant for a 2-year time to enable researchers working in frontier areas of science and engineering to establish themselves and move to the mainstream of the core research grant. So before you write a core research grant, you want to test some idea, you can go for this young ECRA grant. This is a one-time career grant. Apply and you have to apply for this proposal, this scheme. Apply within 2 years of joining the institution. So any young person joining the institution within 2 years, he can apply for this startup research grant. Maximum age is now increased to 42 years. It was 35 before, now it is 42. Therefore, more and more people are coming here. And applicant should not have received young scientist scheme or ECR scheme or a core grant. This is for the people who are starting their career. This is the first grant. If they already have grant from a SERB, from a different funding, then they are not eligible for this. Therefore, for the young people who will be joining the university here, to startup grant, you are eligible to this and you can make use of this opportunity for 2 years. After the 2 years, you can apply for a regular core grant of SERB for higher funding. Can I have next one, please? This is basically the startup research grant for senior people, is called SRG. Scheme aims to assist researchers to initiate their research career in a new institution. Again, this is for a new faculty members who are coming, and the eligibility that they should have a PhD, hold a regular position in academic research in a year. This is a 2-year project. Support of 30 lakhs plus overheads will be available. And every year we give this for 500 awards in a given year. This is again in all areas of engineering and science. This is for people who are starting their career. Either they can go for early career research grant or this grant, SRG grant, where for 2 years you can test your new ideas. And if it's successful, then you can go for a higher project, which is a core grant. Can I have next slide, please? This also we have started recently, 3 years back. This is started just when I left SERB. This is called the National Postdoctoral Fellowship. You know, in India, most of the PhD students, after their degree, they would like to go for abroad for a postdoc experience. There's nothing wrong with that. But since recently, even in the US and European countries, the funding has become a problem. Not many people are getting the postdoctoral offers. Therefore, we thought that why can't we start our own postdoctoral program? Keeping this in mind, we have this National Postdoctoral Fellowship scheme, which is for people who just got their PhD, fresh PhDs, or even who are submitted. And here they have to find a mentor in a university or institution, where they will mentor's role is only to sort of help and guide the facilities in the university. This is a one-time grant. And the program, he offers 55,000 rupees as a personal salary for the postdoctoral fellow, plus the house and allowance, and research grant of 2 lakhs per year over plus overheads. So this is basically for fresh PhDs who are looking for a job. So before you get a job, you can start your research. The only thing is some university or institution should agree to host you. They don't have any financial burden, but they will have to provide the facilities of the laboratory. And if that is so, SERB will give a National Postdoctoral Fellowship for a period of 2 years at a fellowship of 55,000 rupees per month as a personal salary for a postdoctoral fellow, plus HRA, and a research grant of 2 lakhs per year. The idea here is that if the person does well in the 2 years, the university concerned or the institution concerned can hire him as a regular faculty, so that they have seen him or her for 2 years doing research. This is also a very popular program. Now already there are about 1,500 people are getting this fellowship at various institutions and universities. Next one, please. In addition to that, we also have SERB fellowship programs for different kinds of people, for established people, for recognized people, and the young people. Can I go to the next slide, please? Of course, this is the J.C. Bose National Fellowship. This is to recognize active scientists and engineers for outstanding contribution for research. This is open to all Indian nationals residing in India having permanent positions. This is basically people who are already established. It's not for young people. This is for the middle-aged people who have done very well, who have been recognized. For such people, SERB recognizes their contribution. In addition to their salary, they will be getting a 25,000 rupees per month honorarium as a personal fellowship, in addition to the regular salary. And also now, 10 lakh has now gone to 15 lakh. 15 lakh rupees per annum as a research grant, attending conferences and other expenditure. So this is people, established people don't have to apply for a proposal. You can just write a SERB, there's a form to be filled up. There's a committee to look into that. If they fulfill the recognitions and the contributions, this will be given to people. Right now, there are about 600 J.C. Bose fellows in the country. This can go up to 68 years of age. Can the next slide, please. This is for the students. This is also a program which I started. This is called Prime Minister's Doctoral Fellowship. This is again to bring in the industry and the academia together. And this is appropriate for your university because we have a industry-backed, pharma industry-backed research. So here, the PhD students who is selected for this particular program, this is a PhD program in a university. If there are many industries who have small problems to tackle with, they don't have personnel to do that. And CII, which is the industry component here, they will contact the industries for their problems which they are facing to solve it. And it will be advertised on the CII website. So if a student wants to pick up a particular problem, PhD student who have been selected already in a university or institution, if he wants to work on an industry-based project, he can do so by picking up one of the problems of the industry. And here the catch is the regular fellowship for the from the Government of India will be for a JRF will be given by the DST, and an equal amount should be given by the industry concerned, because the industry concerned will get their problem solved. So they have to contribute. As a result, the students who come under this program get 2 fellowships, one from the DST and one from the industry concerned. But the catch is that the students selected should be working only on the problem of interest to the sponsoring industry. And students get double the scholarship, one from board and one from the industrial sponsor. And again, this is a very popular program where many industries have made use of this program. And it's a win-win situation. For an industry, for 50% of the cost, they will get their problem solved. For a student who is working in the project, he gets double the amount of the fellowship than the other students who are working regularly in this thing. And therefore, this is a way, and then there will be a guide from the industry, there will be a guide from the academia, and the student concerned can visit the industry, and the industrial guide can visit the university. And if they're happy with the student performance, the industry can even offer him a job. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. It is a very popular program. I will show you the next slide, the kind of industries which have come forward. Can I go to the next slide, please? Next slide. Yeah, this is what I said. This launched on a PPP mode, that is the private partnership mode by CRB and CII. Scholarship support for PhD scholars every year, double the scholarship up to 6 lakhs per month, and industry-backed research and industry-based research. So next one, please. See, these are the industries which have already sponsored this project: Intel, Procter & Gamble, Peramel, Autosys, Thermax, Strand. These are some of the examples of the industry who have sponsored. Right now, there are 600 students working in this particular program for their PhD. And then industry also is very happy that they are able to get their problem solved. Next one, please. These are the institutions concerned. We have all the IITs, we have IISERs, we have Manipal Institute of Technology, we have IISER Pune, NCL, CSIR Labs, IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore. So all the top institutes have entered this program where they can work for the industrial project and also get a sort of understanding what the industry needs. The idea here is to bring the industry and academia together on the same platform. Can I have the next slide, please? Next one, new programs of SCRB fellowships. Yeah, SCRB also has started now the new programs. One of them is called the Overseas Doctoral Fellowship. In some of the selected areas, for example, tissue engineering, and then artificial intelligence, we don't have much expertise in the country. There are hardly few people who can guide them. So in such areas, which is selected by the SCRB, they can, India can sponsor these PhD students for a university wherever they get admission. For example, somebody gets admission in Stanford, but they don't get this scholarship. At that time, this is a situation, SCRB will provide scholarship of $2,000 per month as a fellowship for the particular student for 5 years, and the contingency grant of allowance of 60,000 rupees, and then to and fro airfare charges. So this is a program to develop very complicated and modern areas of research. SCRB will select the areas. So I gave you an example of a tissue engineering is one, artificial is other one, where we don't have much expertise in the country. In such cases, if the students is able to get an admission in a top university anywhere in the world, we will be SCRB will be able to meet the scholarship for $2,000 per month for 5 years to complete the PhD, and hoping that this person will come back and serve the country. So this is again a popular program. We are giving 150 fellowships every year in this particular program. On the same count, we also have a overseas postdoctoral fellowship. Again, the postdoctoral fellowship here, somebody wants to work in a very forward-looking area like artificial intelligence or machine learning, such a thing. If a offer is obtained from a university, that's the onus is on the student to get the offer. They have to run to the concerned guide in the whichever country they want to go, and if they offer the laboratory facilities, SCRB will provide the scholarship. In this case, this is $3,000 per month, and the contingency of 60,000 and the to and fro airfare for the person to travel to the country. Again, this is a popular program, but this is not in all the areas. This is only in the select areas, and whichever the areas will be obtained on the SCRB website. The third program for the young students is the SN Bose Scholars Program. This is also a very popular program. That is the students who are in the second year of BSc or second year of BTech. They want to do research in a particular university. They can apply for this particular program. This is a program for 3 months. In the summer holidays, they will be sent to the top universities in US. This is an agreement with the National Science Foundation of US, and therefore this is handled by Wisconsin University. This is basically a student exchange between Indian universities and the American universities. The young researchers, that is the students who are in the second year of their BSc or BTech, any program, they will spend 3 months in summer in a particular university just to expose them for research facilities, and they come back. And most of the students here, they fix their PhD program with the concerned guide and come back, and after the completion of their degree, they will go back to the university to do PhD. So this is again a popular program. This program every year we are giving 150 fellowships in all the areas of science and engineering, and this is a collaborative program between SCRB and the National Science Foundation. This is only applicable to US. This is the next one is the SCRB NSF Graduate Exchange Program. This is basically not for Indians, the American students who would like to come to India for some time. They can do so. The National Science Foundation will give them the airfare to come here, and SCRB will give them the expenditure for staying in a hostel or a guest house, and then the food expenses. This is only for the American students who would want to explore India for summer 3 months. They can do so using this SCRB NSF graduate program. Can I have the next slide, please? I talked to you about the Indo-US Research Fellowship. This is operated through IUSSTF, that is based in Delhi. The Indo-US Science Technology Forum is basically a forum which is a scientific forum where the funding for their support is coming from 50% from Indian government through DST and 50% is coming from American government through NSF. If you look at their website, they have different programs enable young Indian researchers working in Indian academic institutions to carry out research areas, S&T premier institutions in USA. This is basically what happens is, for example, a PhD student who was registered in a university, he has some problem in his research. He wants to spend some time in US university. So that's the opportunity for that. The students can have to identify the particular lab, particular sponsor, and if they agree, DST will fund that from anywhere from 3 months to 12 months. So they can go to the country, US, anywhere their problem can be solved working there for summer 3 months to 12 months, so that they have the exposure while doing PhD in India. They will go to visit USA and then solve the problems, whichever they have and then come back and submit their thesis. This is basically an opportunity for young PhD students who are already registered for PhD, a chance to go to America, spend some time and come back and do the research. This is for anywhere from 3 months to 12 months, depending on the need. Right now, there are about 168 young Indian researchers have availed this fellowship so far. Can I have the next one, please? This is already, I told you, SN Bose scholarship students working here. So 44 Indian students and 11 American students are working under this program. This is the data of 2013. Now there are basically much more than that. And you can look at the universities which students have gone: Wisconsin, Madison, Minnesota, Southern California, Purdue University, Texas, Illinois, Michigan State University, Carnegie Mellon. So you name the university, they are there. Therefore, this is an opportunity for young students to explore the research ideas in the university. Can I have the next slide, please? This is again the GROW program I talked about, where the American students can come to India for a period of 3 to 12 months to see India, and the NSF, that is National Science Foundation of America, provides the travel funding, and then India will fund the local funding. Next one, please. These are some of the special schemes for the people. The next one, please. I told you this is a empowerment and equity scheme for excellence in science, for especially for SC/ST in Indian research universities. This is created only because they have, if they want to compete with others generally, they find it difficult to get funding. Therefore, we have created this competition among themselves for SC/ST people working in different institutions. They can write a proposal of their choice, which will be reviewed by the special committee, and then if they are successful, they can get the funding done by this thing. Therefore, this is a very popular program, again for the people who are in the SC/ST category. Can I have the next one, please? Next slide. Yeah. This is basically a suppose women scientist program. As I told you that many women who have got the PhD degrees because of the family reasons, they're carrying a child or a family work, they have breaking their career. Therefore, they cannot continue the research program. Therefore, for such people, to encourage such people who have a family reasons, if they have a PhD degree, they can work in a university, and they get a scholarship of the research grant of 23 lakhs for 3 years, and a fellowship of 35,000 rupees per month. Now this has increased to 50,000 rupees per month. For MSc scholars, people who have got MSc want to do some research, they will get a 20 lakh research grant for 3 years, and now it's increased to 30,000 rupees per month fellowship. Therefore, this is basically for women who have a break in their career because of the family reasons. They can restart their research ideas, working in a university or a college or a thing, where they will get a fellowship of 50,000 for PhD holders, 30,000 for MSc holders, and also a small research grant of 23 lakhs for the PhD holders, 20 lakhs for the MSc holders. This is a program to revive the women who are breaking service, and many people have taken this opportunity to do their research. Can I have the next slide, please? We also created, especially in the area of health sciences, supposing somebody wants to build a small gadget, for example, BP measuring kit or a blood sugar measuring kit, automated such schemes. We have created this program in collaboration with the NIH in US. So this scheme encourages research collaboration between India and USA within framework of S&T and Government of India, where they can do a particular product building through the help of National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering in Washington, DC, and NIH USA. So anybody has an idea, they can, so here in this case, we will fund the project where you have an opportunity to visit American laboratory, and our American collaborator has the opportunity to come to India, but you have to find the collaborator who can do the job, and the project is submitted. This will be funded up to 5 crores for 3 years project. Can I have next one, please? This is again a PIRE program called the PIRE, that is the Partnership of International Research and Education. It's the international fellowship program where NSF and SARB will use the intellectual capabilities of research groups all over the world in front area of research, and has joined PIRE programs through a bilateral agreement between SARB and NSF. Supposing you have a joint collaborative project with somebody in US. So what you can do is that you can join hands, you and your collaborator in USA, submit a proposal, separately funding for the Indian counterpart and separately funding for the American counterpart. If the project is accepted, the American counterpart will get the money from the National Science Foundation, and the Indian counterpart will get the money from the SARB. So this is basically to encourage international partnership between India and US, where you already have a collaborator, but you need funding. So you jointly, if you write a proposal, that proposal will be examined both by the Indian side and the American side. And if these reviewers give a clean sheet to proposal, the money for the American side will be funded by the National Science Foundation, and the money for the Indian side will be funded by SARB. Again, this is a very popular program to sort of initiate collaborative projects, which is internationally important. Such people can use this facility to do their research in an area of their choice. Can I have the next one, please? Of course, this is we also have a PhD students as well as the young researchers up to 35 years of age to go to international conferences, presenting a paper or chairing a session or delivering a lecture. SARB will completely fund the both travel as well as the staying expenditure. This is for young people to attend programs, workshops, summer and winter schools up to age of 35 years. This is again a popular program. A lot of young people go to US especially for attending conferences. Can I have the next one, please? This is for the teachers who are retired. You know, these days, universities, people retire at 60 and some places at 65. And their expertise can be used. Supposing they want to write a book or they want to help somebody, monographs. So such people can use this program to get a small funding to writing their books and other stationery expenses, and publish their books so that they can be active after retirement, and also they will help the younger people to their books will be useful for the younger people. This is again a useful program for people who already retired from the service. Next one, please. I think that's it I have. Okay, next. This is basically not for this particular audience. This is for people who are abroad, want to come to India. There are a lot of opportunities in Indian universities. I'll just go through it quickly. Can I go to next slide, please? Most of you must be aware of this DST Inspire Fellowship, where DST will fund 80,000 rupees per month as salary for the particular Inspire Fellow. Research grant of 7 lakhs per year, and it will be for 5 years. The idea here is that a particular fellow university or institution concerned want to hire somebody, and they are not sure whether they would be a permanent job or not. Such fellows can apply for Inspire DST facility scheme, and if they are successful, they will be getting 80,000 rupees per month salary paid by CRB and a 7 lakh rupees grant. And the university or the institution concerned has to only give them a laboratory space to do research. And after a 5-year period, if you are happy with the performance, the concerned institution can absorb them as a permanent faculty. So again, this is a very popular program. Every year, we are sanctioning about 600 positions in this Inspire Fellowship faculty. Next one, please. This is similar in biology. This is called the Ramanujan Fellowship, basic science in 2 years of postdoc experience abroad, who are coming from abroad. People who are already gone abroad, they are looking for a job. They are not able to get a good job. So in that 2-year period, they can be using this particular fellowship program called Ramanujan Fellowship Program, where the salary is about 85,000 rupees per month as a personal salary. Research grant of 7 lakhs. Again, this is for 5 years. Within 5 years, they have to find the job of their own in a particular institution or university. Next one, please. This is another program called UGC Research Recharge Program. Again, similar to this thing. UGC advertises for this program at the level of assistant professor, associate professor, and professor level. What has happened is many universities are complaining that they are not getting good applications for faculty. Therefore, 300 universities in India have signed an agreement with the UGC, where the UGC will select the faculty members and approve them to the particular university if they want. So they can be at any level of assistant professor, associate professor, and professor. And the eligibility criteria is same as the other institutions. So the people who are abroad, who are not getting jobs, can make use of this facility, and then they can go to university of their choice to work there. Again, this is a permanent program, and the person concerned will become an employee of the UGC, not the university. Can I have the next slide, please? These are the eligibility for the Ramalingam Swami Fellowship, PhD or MTech, salary, research grant is I already told this to you. Next one. All right. This is a sort of a brief journey to the SARB programs for funding and research for both scientists and engineers. I went through hurriedly because of the time. So if you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer the questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for this very nice webinar, and it was really very helpful to all of us. And I now invite my young faculty, Dr. Siddhant Patel, to pose some questions on behalf of audience. And I also invite our honorary guest, Dr. Bakulesh Kama, sir, is Executive Director of Cadila Pharmaceuticals. And Dr. Biswajit Mitra, sir, is the Vice President of Cadila Pharmaceuticals. And if they have any queries, or if they can, if they want to interact with sir, please, sir. I think, okay. So, Siddhant, please continue with your session, and all the panelists can can ask their queries if they have any. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, sir. It was wonderful session, and there are many questions as I can see in Q&A. First question.
Can you put on your
that,
video link?
Yeah, sir.
Siddhant, can you put on your video link?
I have started my video, sir. You can see in the multi-video link option, sir.
Siddhant, please increase the voice of your speaker. I think the
Am I
voice is
audible to
not
you?
so big.
Yeah, now I'm
Yeah,
audible to you clearly. Sorry.
yeah. Can you increase the mic sound?
Am I audible to you now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
Audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Just hold a minute, sir. First question is, can a doctorate faculty of Polytechnic or can also apply in SERB?
Oh, yeah. There's no limit for that. If they have a
Okay.
doctorate degree and if you have a permanent job, they can apply.
Okay, sir. Next question is, one professor is asking, like, how much importance for infrastructure of university? Like, if someone is having less infrastructure, but
Hmm.
having strong proposal and novel idea, but and also related publication, but they are not, are they considered for the SERB if infrastructure is less?
Yeah. Actually, what happens is the funding decision will be made only on the quality of the proposal.
Okay.
Right? So the proposal quality has to be good. And if the private university is asking for equipment, for government universities, SERB will fund all 100%.
Okay.
If the private university is asking for equipment, they expect the university to contribute some 20 to 30% of the
Okay.
cost.
Okay.
Supposing you have a equipment of 50 lakhs, so SERB will expect 20 lakhs from the university, 30 lakhs from SERB.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the guidance, sir.
Yeah.
So next question is, like, one group is working in the IoT blockchain startup research, and they are Bombay based. So whom they can contact or from where they can get
No,
funding?
is it a private company or a university or institute? What is the status of that institution?
So they have just mentioned that we have startup research. I think they are private company most probably.
Then for private companies, there is a startup proposal separately for the DST. They can approach the DST.
Okay.
They won't
Okay.
come under this particular scheme.
Okay.
In the
Okay, sir.
Department of Science and Technology website, there is a separate scheme for the startups. They have to approach their SERB will not fund that. DST will fund it.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. So there is one BPharm second year student, and he wants to apply for any scheme. So which would you suggest for BPharm?
He can apply for the SN Bose Scholars Program.
Okay, okay, sir.
In that program, you please tell him
Okay.
he has to select right to the person whom he wants to go and work. That he has to do it and get a consent.
Yeah, consent is required. Yeah, okay, sir.
Then after that, he has to apply for Indo-US Forum for under SN Bose Scholarship Program.
Okay, sir. Sir, there is one more important question. That is, DSIR certificate is mandatory for getting any grants
No,
for university?
No.
Okay, sir.
No.
There is another one question. Good question. That one person is working as a JRF at IIT Ram Institute over Ahmedabad. He started 2019. And he's funded by BRNS fundings.
Project.
So
Okay.
that funding is only for 2.5 years. So will he get another funding or something for another 2.5 years if his PhD takes 5 years?
He can try the DST Inspire fellowship.
Once BNRS
There is a DST Inspire student fellowship.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
He can try that.
Okay, sir. These are the almost question. There's a comment that it's wonderful, informative session, and all comments are coming, and it was really wonderful. And I am also trying for SRG, and it was really
Thank you.
helpful. Thank you, sir. That's all from my side, Anidhi ma'am. It's over to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siddhant, for posing these questions. And I really believe that it has helped a lot. And Biswajit Mitra sir has again joined. So, sir, if you want to have some interaction with sir.
Can you talk loudly? Actually, that is the network problem. I'm not in a position to get through. Yeah. Can you repeat your question once again?
Sir, can you please have a physical and just a one-to-one interaction with sir, if you have any queries or as such?
Yes, actually, the professor, I think we are delighted. First of all, it was a wonderful presentation. Not only presentation, we are enriched with various different sort of granting channel. And I don't think, at least in my life, I never knew that you have so many different
Yeah.
team which is available. And
Yeah.
delighted, and I'm sure that, entire industrial university team can keep their, focus. And then, in basically what we do normally, for any corporate sector, like we understand the profit and loss account. So
That's
whatever
right.
we normally sell, and whatever we normally, gain through our selling the product, and then we ensure that we have some profitability. But university, always there is a huge challenge in terms of, how to get the fund, how to run the business in terms of, educational institution and all. I think this is most important, that if we can allocate those sort of if we are talking about the funding or granting the fund, we should allocate that. Yes, we have to have 20% or 30% of the fund allocation, or we have to get revenue out of this kind of a proposal, a granting proposal from Department of Science and Technology, or CSIR. As you rightly said, even Ministry of Earth and Environment, they are also giving the fund to the university. And I never knew that, this kind of a projects are available. So I'm quite excited, because I think if I tell you, Dr. Chandrasekhar, I think we have undertaken a couple of 6-7 projects also internally, and we are trying to collaborate each other, university and our basically our Cadila Pharmaceutical, our chemical division, so that we can collaborate together and we can start working, understanding the expertise which is available in university, and at the same time, our university student or researcher or professor, they also can, sort of figure them to work for the corporate sector. I think this is a good platform.
Actually, I can suggest 2 programs which are suitable to you.
Yes.
One is the industry-based research project. Supposing you have a problem to be solved,
correct,
in chemistry area or this thing, and if you can find a partner in the university, your university itself, who can solve the problem, you can jointly write a proposal. And 50% will come from the SERB, 50% should come from you, so that you can get your problem solved with 50% of the cost.
Absolutely.
And also that Prime Minister's Fellowship Program, the PhD students who will be working for the proposed problem from the industry, he can work for you for half the cost. Again, he'll get 2 scholarships, and therefore he can be working for your thing. And if you are happy with his performance, you can even give him a job.
Absolutely.
So you can see him for 5 years, and if he is happy with his performance, you can absorb him. Otherwise, he'll go elsewhere. So these 2 programs, where the industry and academia are at the same platform, will be very useful to your place, because you have an industry behind that and a university there.
Absolutely. So I think this is the brainchild of Professor Jadhav, and he has been continuously pushing that. And he is, more than anybody, he is interested to develop or optimize the process for the process which we are running here in Cadila. So he knows the process what we are running here.
Yeah, I would say you are the right person in that help.
Yes. And probably that is going to help not only for the scientists, but for entire our employees, our scientists in Cadila also, to understand that these are the projects which are there for, and we can take a collaborative look. I was just now, Professor Jadhav, I was talking to the team.
Sure.
We are talking about Celodocin project, which is most important project which we have taken. And this particular project, how to do the backward integration, and we stopped taking from China. Today we are getting this material from China. We don't have anything in India. So I requested Professor Jadhav that whether we can get sort of support so that we can make our backward integration project readily available.
Sure.
This is a wonderful project. So once we complete this kind of project, 6 or 7 projects, I think this orientation for the university professor,
Yeah,
that is also going to change.
yeah.
And
Great, yeah, great.
And
Yeah.
and apart from what you are talking about, the granting project from a CSIR or Department of Science and Technology, I think we can take a lot of industry project from
Yeah.
university for other company.
Sure.
So I think it's a fantastic, a sort of opportunity amalgamation of industry.
Actually, many of your faculty were asking that how to write a proposal for the
Yes.
funding. Therefore, I suggested to Dr. Yadav that if you want, I can visit 2 or 3 days and then sit with each faculty and then talk to them and help them in writing a proposal. That probably will, because what is funding agency expects.
TKC now is open. Tell me,
Yeah.
we'll arrange everything. You come.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
So maybe in March next month, sometime, or April.
Yeah, so no problem. Yeah.
Before you go to Kanpur, you go by a.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anything else?
I think from my side, but I can say that this is one of the best program what so far I have come across, that what kind of a granting is possible from different institute like CSIR or government Department of Science and Technology. So wonderful. I think we should be in a position to capitalize that for our future project.
Dr. Mitra, Monday we have organized from DBTA. DBTA advisor is coming here.
Okay.
He will also interacting for an hour.
All right. Okay.
TKC has, left deliberately DBT things.
Yeah.
You can take advantage of that.
Actually, DBT has a lot of programs, especially the high-rank program of DBT.
So you can have advantage of listening to DBT people.
Correct. Sure.
Dr. Bakules, are you there still? No, he's not. Chal.
Yeah, I'm there.
You are there. You have some comment to make.
Okay, so Dr. Biswajit talked about industry participation and taking advantage of the university system to get the processes right to make inexpensive APIs. The other part where we are interested and where we have invested significantly is public-private partnership. So from the time when this word was not known, Kerala interacted with the various universities and research organizations across the country and tried to enter into relationship to develop some products. Out of that, we have commercialized few, and large number has not been successful to see the daylight. Now, since at that point in time such programs were not there, and since these programs are there, will it be possible to get the names or details of the universities, institutes where they are interested in developing products for pharma industry? Because in the past, what happened was they had a different viewpoint about the industry, and then they developed the products in a different way. But if we partner with them at early stage, probably we can mold them properly and chance of success can go high. So is it possible to get the list, what they are doing, in which area they are working, and then we can approach them and try to see where we can bridge the gaps?
Because
Yes.
could you hear that? Chandrasekhar, you are put on mute, please. We are not able to hear.
Chandrasekhar sir, are you able to hear sir's voice?
Got disconnection.
He is not in mute, sir. Hello? I think he is disconnected.
No, he's trying to say, but not able to hear. There is some connection problem. Maybe there or here. Got disconnected. Just see whether who is connecting, it can connect.
Hello, sir. I think he's not able.
I'm calling. No, he's not lifting the phone also. I think got disconnected somehow.
So I think we have to inform him to reconnect. Should I call him?
I'm calling it not. Hello? Hello? I don't know. You are disconnected. We are all there, but we are not able to connect you. Some problem your side? Just check it, your connection. Yeah, who is controlling this?
Sir Anuj.
Huh?
Anuj, sir, he is telling that probably the internet connectivity of sir went down,
Hello?
and then he has to rejoin the
Hello?
session.
Hello, TKC. I can hear you, but you are not disconnected. Your internet not working, then you can do with a smartphone also. You can connect. They actually, Dr. Bakulesh was actually asking whether we can have early stage. Are you able to connect first? Then I can talk to you. Okay, please. Right. He's trying to connect. Okay, again. It got disconnected there.
Sir, I have asked him to reconnect, and he's doing it.
I think there is a problem in that side. He's connecting.
Can you see me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can see you. Yeah, can hear.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but you adjust your screen. It is coming at
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Actually, Dr. Bakules had some comment. I don't think he heard it.
Please go ahead.
Can you align your computer because it's not coming properly here?
The screen is 19-degree turned.
Turn like that.
Okay.
Now it is okay.
Okay.
Dr. Bakules, can you ask him?
So, I mean, at Cadila, as a philosophy and practice, we believe in public-private partnership.
Yeah.
And we started this initiative before this word was coined in India.
Mm-hmm.
And we have interacted with large number of publicly funded organizations to take their products forward. Some of them have been successful and see the daylight. Majority, as it happens in the pharma industry, they were
Yeah.
failed.
Yeah.
During that interactions, we realized that they are not properly guided about the problem and potential
Yeah.
requirement. So if you analyze the failures, the
Mm.
failures were largely because they were not properly oriented towards the problem and the requirements.
Yeah.
So we feel that if we join hands with them at an early stage,
Mm-hmm.
when they have conceptualized that, okay, this is a problem and we are going to work on that, and if we join hands at that level and provide a guidance, then the efforts they put in will
Yeah.
become more meaningful and chance of success will go high. I'll
Yeah.
only tell you, I will narrate one example. 20 days back, I went to one of the public funded organization to look at their program. They did a really good job for a COVID-19,
Mm.
but then whatever they achieved in a span of 9 months,
Mm-hmm.
if they would have taken help from an industry guidance, they would have achieved the same thing in 3 to 4 months, and then with a minimal resources, and they would have been ahead of the race.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, just giving one example, but there are examples where the failure was because they did not do the things right and they did not think right. So
Mm-hmm.
in view of that, is it possible to get list of funded projects where they have some idea about developing pharmaceutical products, not the processes?
Mm-hmm.
What Dr. Mitra talked about was the processes.
Mm-hmm.
What I am talking about is products, say
Product,
innovative
yes.
products. And
Yes.
I mean, just for your knowledge, Cadila is the only company who has taken a lot of pain and risk to bring innovative products to the market, which no other Indian pharma company has done.
Mm.
So we are interested in bringing innovative products. And in that view, if there are people who are funded through various mechanisms, and if we know about them, that what they are trying to develop, because what happens is till they get their level, it is kept confidential from the industry.
Okay.
It's not available. So we come to know only at a very late stage, and by that time, our input has no value because their funding has gone up, funding has exhausted, they have reached a level of no point of no return. So we can't do significant, I mean, to salvage those programs. So if it is possible to have a look at what is being funded, and then after we have a look at, interact with few of them and look at their program under CDA. We don't want to get their intellectual property, but then we can be helpful. We can provide them some guidance so that those programs become successful, and at some stage we can partner with them also.
Okay.
Yes.
So this, DHT, I don't know whether they have a database of all the pharmaceutical projects they have funded or not. So I have to, I really directly cannot answer that question. But the other way of getting information, if you can say your problem to CII, CII will list the problems in their insight, and then any academic fellow who looks into that, who can solve the problem, can come forward and then get in touch with you.
Yeah. See, that is true if I have a problem of a technology.
Yeah.
What I am describing.
Even basic science problem. Basic science problem.
Yeah. What I am describing is where you have some expertise, you have done something and you want to develop it into a product. And we are interested at that stage. We are not interested because India is still not mature to invest, at least as a pharma industry, to invest for 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so I can't invest in a basic science for 20 years.
So for that, what I suggest is in the DST, for that I can suggest you that the DST, there is a startup program for anybody who wants to do a startup. Through that funding, you can get that funding and get your things done. That will be fine.
Yeah. See, I mean, if you look at a Cadila, we are not startup, and we are not looking at a startup funds. What we are looking at is startup innovative products, early stage innovative products. We are looking at early stage innovative products.
Yeah.
So if they have something, we can look at them and we can guide them what the industry wants And then if it is mutually acceptable, we can partner with them.
Okay.
Okay.
I
That's the
am
plan.
not.
That's the plan.
Yeah. I'm not aware of in such this thing, but let me talk to the present secretary, and if something helpful comes, I will talk to you.
Sure. Because that will be helpful. See, what happens is we get the programs at a very late stage. And then probably their funds have exhausted and they have not reached their level, but still their program is good. And we are not able to help them out and make a success story out of it. And its whole effort is down the drain.
Yeah. That's right. Actually, if Dr. Yadav can talk to the present secretary, Sandeep Verma, who is a good friend of Yadav, he will be able to sort of help you out on this.
In fact, he is very concerned about what Dr. Bakule said. So actually, once I asked him to connect to me, I can connect to the right industry even, I said.
Okay.
Maybe Cadila or even other industry.
Okay.
So he could not come back. Then I think I'll ask him again, okay?
Ask him again, yeah. He will be able to help you out on that.
He was here once.
Yeah.
So at that time, I mentioned to him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know, a lot of resources we do spend, but we don't know where to go from here, okay?
That's right.
As academician. But that was the need of industry connect at that time.
Yeah.
I did discuss, actually, and he's also very much keen. He said, you know, government is also asking. He's very keen for such collaboration and such interaction.
That's right. Exactly. That's a very good problem, and if you can help it out, that will be very nice.
Right. I will, maybe that was on, personally I talked, maybe we'll send in writing to him. So
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Right. Anything else? You know, TKC, you know, it was very good. For your information, we attended.
Thank you.
Participants were almost more than 350, which is here. But
very nice.
That on Facebook and YouTube and all those things. I think over 70 people have attended your talk.
Yeah, sure.
Over India, I can see from Himachal Pradesh. I can see from Jammu. I don't know. They got connection, and also I can see from Chhattisgarh area. It has gone all over India. So
that's good.
On their behalf, I can also thank you.
Thank you for that invitation.
And a good comment on this.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you have, and of course, as we promised, you promised. You have to come.
Yeah, sure. Sure, I will come. I mean, whenever you call me, I'll come.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. And sir, I just want to take some few more minutes. There will be a concluding remark by Dr. Vijay Singh, who is the current Dean of Research of our university, followed by a vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Dr. Vijay Singh.
Sir, good afternoon for your very informative and very valuable about the funding agencies and what the DST is doing, what the service is doing. So it is very useful for as a new faculty, as a faculty who already reached the top level and they have the various funding opportunity, like the startup from who is going to start the career within the 2 years they can apply for the startup. And sir have already supported 500 faculties for this program. And the core grant, we have the different level of the funding for the who is established already and who is going to lead more in the country. And the biggest challenge we face also, this is the academic and the industry, what Bakule sir was saying. We didn't find really what academic we are doing. We do the research, we publish the paper, and we don't think about what the product is going into the market.
That's
and
right.
What the industry is doing, we don't know what are the problem and how we can solve. So there is the big gap between the industry and the academia and the research institute. So if there is government, if there is something relation is going to build up more. So because in this, India need to be more grow in the product side now. Basic research we have understanding, it will be improved day by day. But if some product is innovative product, innovative technology like what you are saying, that is engineering or the artificial intelligence, machine learning,
Yeah.
this come back and we are lagging behind in this technology. Even the synthetic biology, genome engineering, metabolic engineering,
Yeah.
this is a new field. Still, it is not implemented a lot in our country, and we need the support from the funding agency to start this good area, system biology, computational biology, where next generation sequencing, personalized medicine, translational science, it should the area that can like the more translational, and it will help in the industry also to develop the drugs, vaccines, smart drugs, like
Sure.
this. We need to couple with the computer scientists, where artificial intelligence is going to couple with the industries to develop, fine tune, because we know now we have the whole genomics data, even the proteomics data, and we need to understand more and more. So empowering of the women, of course, this is the one of the very key funding from the sir we have already, and this TSC empowering is also. So it's the equalization is very important to not nobody can any problem and issue. So everybody can boost their career, their life. So that is very so. Indo-US we have more program through the DST sir, and
Yeah.
it can be also with the European country. It is going well. DST, I know they have a lot of country. They have the Swiss Indo program is there, but sir, it is only majorly focus on the US, because we know the US has a lot of development in the area of the science and technology. So we can take the advantage, building the good relationship, and so that's the very good thing with the sir. Now we have the for the faculty, for the student, for the PhD. So, sir, this is the one of the question before finishing my concluding remark. So, is we are in the private university. We have the in the server PM doctoral fellowship program. So, if
Mhm.
we are eligible, our students are eligible to apply for that PhD
Yeah,
program.
yeah. They are eligible.
Okay, sir, because sometime I didn't clear about that thing. So we are thinking about ID, either a central university student
No.
can apply, because, yeah. So
They are
if this
eligible.
program is more strengthened in near future, we will fill the little gap from the industry and the academia for sure. This program is really helpful, and the industry have the problem, academic have the problem, we have the product where we can sell. So if, with the help of the industry, then I think this bridging the gap with this funding agency, that will help a lot with the new student, new researcher, and the faculty as well. The startup DST Inspire, that also very useful, and the UGC research program what we have, I think this is the very good opportunities for the researcher who want to build the career, who want to accelerate the career in science and technology. Ramanujan Fellow, this is the one of the very brilliant program. So person can work there, then they will come from the abroad to India to start working. So 5 years support is very good for accelerating their career in the life. So you saw a lot of funding opportunities, a lot of high risk program, core startup, women empowering, STSC. So all these things, even the BIRAC, you told me this is the one of the very good initiative from the BIRAC. So industrial product innovation can be see visible. So this is the one of the very good initiative from the government now. So if more thing is coming, more project is coming towards the industry, that is very good things, and we can help the society by building and innovating the science and technology. So I think you told a lot about this funding opportunity where we can apply. So I just close my things. It is more, but I don't want to take a lot of time. So thank you so much, sir, for your information and support. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vijay sir. And I invite Sumit, Dr. Sumit Chaudhary, HOD Engineering, for his vote of thanks on behalf of Indrashil University. And thank you so much, sir, for this very engrossing webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Dr. Sumit Chaudhary, Head of Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Indrashil University. and it is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks for today's webinar. First of all, on the behalf of Indrashil University, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to Professor T.K. Chandrasekhar sir, and for enlightening us with some knowledge. Today's webinar was full of knowledge and interesting facts. It gave deep insights into the topic. The points where Professor T.K. Chandrasekhar sir told us about the different funding agencies or department and their details to submit the proposal are, like sir has explained us, a startup research grant for young scientists, a startup research grant for senior members, national postdoctoral fellowship, SERV fellowship, JC Booth national fellowship, etc. Sir has explained different agencies and how to submit the proposal and the grants, what we can get it from them. So all the details was really informative, and I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge given by you sir will definitely help us in future. Once again, I would like to thank Professor T.K. Chandrasekhar sir for taking out time from his busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge aligned with the topic of today's webinar. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to Indrashil University, Dr. G.S. Yadav, sir. Our today's guest, Dr. Bakulesh and Dr. Biswajit Mitra, sir. Dean School of Engineering, Dr. Amish Vyas, sir. Dean School of Sciences, Dr. Bharti ma'am. All panelists, faculty members, and participants, thank you everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar and getting the knowledge from us. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Riddhi. We'll close.
Right.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting invitation. Bye, sir.
Yeah. Bye.